And he's still, this really brilliant, smart, heartfelt guy that's telling scary stories in a beautiful way. This story is less scary. It's scary in its own way, but it's not horror. But it's the sort of like heartfelt, joyous side of Mike that we're getting to see.
And in this moment, I am wonderful.
You guys are involved in the new Mike Flanagan film, which is always a treat. Karen, I'm going to start with you on this one because
Okay.
it's so funny to see your career has taken off so much. And what is it like kind of going back and working with him, and how has your relationship changed?
I was really intrigued to see what it would be like to go back because I worked with him really early on in his career. He was just establishing himself. And it was such a brilliant experience the first time. I was like, what's it going to be like? He's skyrocketed. He's like the king of horror now. What's it going to be like? It was the same. It was genuinely the same. He's the same
Wow.
person. And he's still, this really brilliant, smart, heartfelt guy that's telling scary stories in a beautiful way. This story is less scary. It's scary in its own way, but it's not horror. But it's the sort of like heartfelt, joyous side of Mike that we're getting to see.
And I love this performance of yours too. I love what he brings out with your work. It's so good here. Chiwetel, I hope I said your name right.
Oh yeah, you did. No, perfect. Thank you.
Good, thank you. You have such an easy name to pronounce. It's simple.
Yeah.
Dude, you're such a fantastic actor. I've seen you really stretch yourself, and this is such an interesting role for you as well. How did you get involved, and what was your experience like?
Yeah, I sent the script and was I was just already reading the script as thinking, this is really incredible. This is a really rich piece of script writing, and also it has all of these elements that I think that I've been considering as a person, and I felt like we all have, and I definitely think it's a post-pandemic film in a way, that it kind of that there's a collective experience of the sort of the trauma of that, and of the uncertainty of that. And it felt like it really captured some of that, which actually, I suppose in the pandemic and just after the pandemic, I thought there would be quite a lot of that around, of just kind of reflections on this kind of collective experience that we've had. But there hasn't been that much. And of course, this story does some of that and talks to obviously our fears more generally about the world we live in. But then goes in this completely other direction as well, which was so incredible to me and just sort of blew my mind when I was reading it. And so I was so excited to join the film and engage with Mike in this way.
Well, I think that, Mike seems to be one of those guys that knows who he wants to work with. And obviously you work together. Yes. Yeah. What is it like working with him and kind of just finding the elements, finding the beats?
Well, he's the best. I really feel like he's the nicest, like one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. In general, he is like charming and effervescent and kind. And so for me to have at this juncture in my life to be working, we're going off to do Carrie together. And to have a relationship in my life that I can hopefully keep coming back to and we can keep working together is like a gift. I feel like I'm in my own, like that thing where sometimes you feel like you're in your own reality. You're like, this is my dimension and everything's going my way right now. And so I'm really, really, really grateful that our paths crossed. And not only am I in this movie, but he's a friend of mine now, and we're going to continue working together, which is great.
Dude, yeah, you were in a good place. You got Scream coming out.
Yeah.
You've got this. You've got so many. What is that? What turned around for you? What do you feel like was the that moment that?
Hey, good question. I don't know. I definitely have a Matthew Lillard 2.0 moment. I've never had more opportunity. I've never been this lucky.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's the universe. It's the kids that grew up on my movies are now running and making decisions in Hollywood. You know, it's a change in the business. Like I think that once at some point when you grow past, you know, the first 5 movies or whatever, you have a duration, you have weight, you have sort of identifiable sense of who I am. People have a sense of who I am, and I think that, you know, whatever. And also I would like to think it's because I do good work. I'm a good person on set, and I come prepared, and I try to kick ass.
Well, you do. You
Thanks.
kick ass, my friend. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you again, man.
Thanks, brother. Be good, Jimmy.
You too, dude. See you later. What kind of relationship do you see with Mike? And I mean, I obviously it's such a, even with him and Stephen King, it's what a magical kind of, it's amazing.
Yeah.
How much does he work with Stephen, or is he just separate himself?
I mean, I guess that's really a question for Mike. I'm not sure about their professional relationship, but
Yeah.
I know that they work well in harmony. And I think they're a partnership that really understands each other as artists.
Yeah, well, I think one of the things I've noticed recently, especially, is when you have a filmmaker who is, you see the same people. You see, you know, not just you, obviously, but you see the same people working with him, and you see there's something there. There's something happy, and that's something so nice to find. And I feel like that would be, it's cool to see Stephen King in that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Like, what about you? What for this character? I mean, how did you approach it?
Well, Miss Richards is an interesting Rubik's Cube because she has so many responsibilities in this film, right? She is the most influential teacher in Chuck's life, changes his life. And she also is an influential teacher in the audience's experience because I have to lead you through this message of the film. And she's also a human being. She's a human being in her own right. And so all 3 of those things have to kind of play in harmony in order for this character to work, because audiences have incredible bullshit meters. And if Miss Richards feels off to them, they're not going to believe what she's telling them. It won't affect them. It won't land on them. They won't then be able to categorize Act 3 as Act 1 in his head. Like you'll miss the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so in order to take on this incredible responsibility of being a large part of the movie, but not sticking out in the movie, like trying to also allow the story to develop around me.
Yeah.
What I did was I tried to play the reality of the situation is that she has this kid in her class whose parents have died recently and who lost his unborn sister and is going through this unbelievable trauma.
Yeah.
He comes and asks her about poetry, and she herself must feel an unbelievable amount of pressure to answer that correctly. And by the end of the scene, she doesn't think she's nailed it. She kind of misses it. And so in doing that understanding and navigating that journey, I was able to distill this huge responsibility down to a fairly actable action, which was comfort this child.
Yeah. Well, you always do a marvelous job. You did really wonderful work here. Thank you, and thank you for talking to me.
Of course. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.